What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble preferred influencer. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment to not only them, but Ground Floor. Ground Floor giving you $10 right now just to get started in real estate investing. Obviously, I've went through a lot of medical issues. I can tell you right now, I don't feel as strong as I'd like to, but did want to get on here and create this video because it's important because I take value in my word. I did a video last week where I spoke about the SGO rumor that EA was no longer going to be doing their franchise updates. So with that, EA went directly to IGN and basically said, listen, we don't comment on rumors or speculation. We're still committed to improve franchise. Madden 22 is a live service, and we've got these updates in the new year. Now, the reason these rumors and speculation can even exist is because EA has not followed through on their commitment. And there's a couple things that I haven't seen a lot of people bring up, but I wanted to go ahead and show you. First and foremost, we know back in October, Bengal got the patch early so that he could promote the franchise mode scouting. Now, the fact that none of them are doing this now really speaks to how this might not be as ready as they expect it to be in terms of this gigantic step in the right direction. And obviously, this is where Andre said he had this magical copy that didn't have all the issues that we see. To that point, as you can see with Andre's channel, not only working at EA, but also creating with it, he should have the upper hand. He should be able to go in and create the best of the best franchise content because he knows the inner workings of it. And as you can see, the game isn't where he's creating with it. So those two things really show me how unfulfilled these promises were. Now, these promises started back in July 19th, when they were selling the game in this all access at EA Play. They put a spotlight on scouting, but I want to look beyond what they just showed us with scouting. You see here Sean talking about how good he's feeling, the feedback from the community, and they got from the franchise community that we wanted more from our mode, and that they were going to establish with us that we heard you, we're listening, and we're going to make those improvements. Now, I've got a lot of different things to speak about here because he goes on and starts to create this narrative that we're going to deliver more features to you guys. We've got roadmaps. They went back and said, listen, last year we did title updates to show us that they were serious about these improvements, the X Factor customization, the playoff brackets, the commissioner tools. So here he is reinforcing this narrative of, we hear you, we've been working, we're going to continue working, and we're going to give you the best game possible. The reality is, when these rumors come out that they're not doing it, it also impacts the fact that they were talking about taking people off a franchise mode. Now, what's interesting with that is, when you look at what they were selling us in July, they basically came out and said, listen, we had to go strengthen our team. We had to get talent across Madden, get them involved because of all the features we were going to be adding, and that means we needed more people. So there's layers to what's being said here. When in July they're talking about needing to get more people, needing to reaffirm who's going to be working on franchise and who wants to work on franchise, when rumors come out that people are being pulled over to another brand, that's a real problem, right? When we talk about the design council, and when they spoke about how they had to go get these people early, these representatives from the community, and bring them into the process to get the best ideas and represent us, the reality is we're not hearing from these people, right? You have every section that we just spoke about that was literally, I know this show's an hour, but this video was only about 15 minutes in. Every single facet of what they're selling us in July is not delivered. And we can also go and see that they're not following through. That's where all the problem comes in. If they were delivering on these promises, there would be no speculation and no rumor because the proof would be in the game, right? When they talk about going and building out a franchise, right, and making different choices and impacting the entire league, you know, this is something I can't stress to you enough. They say if you make the exact same choices, you'll get two leagues to play out differently because of the way you handle a draft pick. You get these engine events. These are things that just do not happen now. When they talk about timeframes, right? They literally sit here and say, we're targeting the first one for September. We know for a fact that didn't happen. That's where speculation and rumor give way to facts. Give way to what we know isn't happening. When he says through the course of the year, we're going to take the same approach and we're excited that we're going to be able to push live service new content. When he talks about going forward and saying that it's no longer acceptable that Madden 22 is a single month game. When they talk about how they need to continue to make it a year-long process, they do this by creating depth, right? To go back to that point that we just spoke about in the season engine. And they talk about this issue with scouting. And they talk about when you go out and you have your representatives scouting players, that there's going to be this whole media world that exists. And that when you go out to do this, it comes at a cost, awareness. And it was going to create this God of War-esque level of detail that is just non-existent in the game. When they talk about going and scouting deep in the rounds, that there was going to be this element where you could be able to essentially throw teams off who you were drafting, and you were going to have mock drafts that mattered in terms of team building. These are things that were not properly delivered. Now, the problem becomes when they sell them and they don't deliver. We have to look back at this, and a lot of people don't, and ask ourselves, what's going on with this game? When they go in and they talk about what's going to be dropping in the future, and that some of the areas in franchise were going to be grayed out, and that these were going to be post-launch editions. This is in July, them talking about a second patch that will not be out until 2022. There's a real problem there, especially when you don't have creators with it, when you don't have people working there creating with it. What is going on with this game? It doesn't take rumor and speculation to know something is wrong. They double down on this post-launch live service where they know gamers are 12-month-a-year gamers. And that in the past, Madden would be pick up and play for a couple months. If you were really hardcore, maybe longer. Understand what they're telling you, right? They're telling you that they're going to change this narrative with all of this live service and all of these new people and all of these tools they have. And look at how great this game is going to be. And we literally are in December, and we know none of this is factual. We know that they put their game on sale. We know that they give their game away for weekends at a time. When you have Andre sitting here, they talk about the standard that the good chunk of the year, they want to have interesting and fresh content. When they compare Madden Ultimate Team and all the things they do in terms of laddering franchise up to that level, they actually start a narrative where it's easier for them to go out with Ultimate Team and introduce new content. But they want to bring franchise to that level. What have any of these three people done to do that? Very little. When they talk about delivering the most requested features, when they talk about going into the launch window and figuring it out, and that it's still the summer, right? In July, he's saying, it's still the summer. We still have time. One of the most telling aspects of this is, at the end, he says, we might actually let you come back in the fall and talk this out, right? They were this optimistic that during the course of this video, he says, we've got plenty of time. We've proven to you that we're going to do this. We want you to buy our game. And when you buy our game, have faith. Have trust that we'll figure this out together. And we're so confident that we're going to maybe have you come back. You can come back in the fall, and we'll talk about all the great things that we've done. That never happened. And that never happened because they never followed through on this commitment. That is where people outside of SGO speculate Are we ever going to see this product completed? EA doesn't need to respond to IGN. They need to respond to our community, and they need to make the product they sold us. And that's all there is to it. I would love to know your guys' thoughts on this. I appreciate you checking out this video. And you know I still can't say it, but I will try to be back as frequently as I can.